Mystical Tutor. It's just pretty slow. We're pretty close to Tinker, though. If we hit land or Moxen on our first draw of the game, I think it's a keep. I mean, obviously this is a keep in the blind, but I'm pretty sure opponent's going to play Bazaar of Baghdad, so it gets a little weirder. Ah, opponent did not play Bazaar of Baghdad. Our hand gets much better. Sure, Dark Ritual is fine. If I then get to rest, it's also still fine because I have double force. Opponent's probably very sad to see that I have double force. Unless they have double duress, then they're probably not that sad to see double force. Opponent's got a pretty big choice here. I assume they have the ability to go off, but not through double force. With one force, I think it's a consideration to counter Dark Ritual. So they took Mystical Tutor, which makes sense to me. They'll probably stop trying to combo now. Oh. Sure. I'll definitely counter that one. Will I keep the Force of Will, or will I keep the Narset? Probably the Narset. So yeah, opponent had a pretty strong hand. See if they have any follow-up. Library, not a great follow-up. Mana Vault, pass. Alright. We're going to jam our Narset. This will stop opponent's preordains, which is nice. If there are still preordains in that list. I think I'll take a Force over a Teferi or a second Narset. This just puts me in a pretty safe spot. I can't get tinkered if I do this. If I were to take Teferi, I might be able to get... The opponent could go Tinker Bolas Citadel, which we wouldn't want. No one would want that. We did draw our black mana for Demonic Tutor, EOs, and other Force of Wills. Which one, chat? Just going to grab Tinker here. Looks pretty good. Opponent wants to draw one card because we have an Narset in play. This is acceptable. I'm going to cast this holding priority. Let that go. And we've won the game. Yay. Postboard. Flusterstorm. I actually don't really like Pyroblast here. Not really a huge fan. But let's take a look again to make sure. Really hard for Tech to cast Pyroblast sometimes. Vintage. Dark Petition Storm. Oh. 4 Preordain. Ancestral. Time Walk Tinker. It's like pretty medium, but it's not terrible. Now, I don't really think we're going to board into Pyroblast. Okay, well, I think I'm going to put this balance in case we get emptied on. think we'll just run it back. Should be pretty favored here. It's an interesting hand. Has a turn 2 Tinker though, so I'm kind of down. Obviously it has no permission, so if opponent kills us, they kill us, but they might have like boarded tons of Pyroblasts into their deck. So they get like pretty crazy post board with like 4 Pyroblast, Defense Graves, that kind of stuff, so I think this hand's fine. We also get to do that, which is, you know, not the worst thing that's ever happened. I almost want a Twister here, actually. We definitely are advantageous. Nah, we should just play top. We should play Mentor. It's just not a high enough upside to Twister. Though, hitting some permission wouldn't be the worst thing ever. Opponent's time walking seems reasonable. Opponent might just kill us here. It's quite possible. Maybe we were supposed to Twister. It's pretty interesting. That might be the case. We're probably dead. Make opponent do it. Kind of think we might have been either supposed to not keep the hand, which is possible, or Twister there. Hmm. Let's see if opponent does any kind of playing around cards. Tutoring, duress, that kind of stuff. Has a demonic tutor as well. Wonder if that's Yogwill then. It's gotta be. Pretty interesting that, I mean, they just assumed I had no counter spells. It was interesting. Pioneer doesn't have Eternal Weekend coming up. We did start building Pioneer. I don't know. Are there even enough like artifacts in this format for me to build? Like, I guess we're gonna have to Ornithopter again, right? Probably have to Ornithopter again. All right, we should find a standard PO list. Mono, blue, PO, standard. I don't mono, blue, tempo. Blue, paradoxical outcome standard. Oh baby, get some inspiring statuaries. Yeah, I think we were probably supposed to twist or mulligan. Like, maybe we were actually the real play is we probably should have just mulliganed, right? I think that might have been like the real thing. That's a hand. That's a hand of Magic the Gathering cards if I've ever seen one. I actually think I just want to Ancestral, which is a little odd. We just have such a high density of Moxen in our deck that I actually think I'm just down to Ancestral here. Well, that did not pay off. We hit 0 Moxen and 0 lands, so we now do not have the ability to Tinker. Oh, you're saying it was fine for them to jam. Yeah, they had an insane density of cards. I think it's certainly reasonable for them to jam. I will let opponent duress me here. If they take Force of Will, that makes sense, and then we don't lose a secondary card. If they take Tinker, that also kind of makes sense, but we have so much action that I don't care about that either. I'm pretty sad that we didn't hit either a land or a Moxen, so that we would definitely be able to Tinker next turn, but... Someone on Twitter has gotta have a PO list, right? Somewhere I can start at least. They took Tinker, right? Yeah, they took Tinker, which makes sense to me. Really need Moxen and lands here. Take a Lotus for an Narset too. Yes. I think we're supposed to put the Lotus below the island though, so that we can just play our Mana Vault this turn. Because if we take the Lotus and we Demonic, we take the Lotus, we play Mana Vault, that's 3 and 2 black. Demonic 2. Oh wait, no, we can Tinker this turn if we take Lotus. I haven't done the math, but I think the math works out. Lotus, Mana Vault, 3 and 2 black, 2 and a black, Yogwill, Lotus, Tinker. Thought I took the Lotus. Double Force backup. Haven't played a land drop yet for our Citadel either. Also have a land drop from our graveyard if we want it to Ancestral. Oh, we don't have an artifact currently to Tinker. But if we Lotus, Demonic... We can Lotus, Demonic, Mana Crypt, land, Tinker. Or we can Lotus, Ancestral. Which is probably the better line, actually. This way we can hit a Moxen. Yeah. Like that. And we still haven't used our land drop. I probably should have killed the Mana Vault instead of the Mana Crypt, but probably not going to matter very much. So I can actually get rid of that top card by casting Demonic Tutor, which is fine. We could actually go for Tolarian if we wanted to. We don't want a Demonic for Tendrils because we won't be able to cast it. It's actually gonna be quite hard for us to cast it with a Lotus being gone. I don't really want to use my land drop if possible was the reason I did not do that. We should probably just take this Sensei's top. Probably better. Yeah, I'm willing to PO here. I am not an expert on how to bowl a Citadel correctly, so by all means, tell me I'm doing it wrong. You just crack into another land. Unfortunate. But we have our top, so... that's not really necessary. I think I'd rather just PO here. Yo, Jace, welcome back. Thank you for the 8 months. You're a powerful wizard, and I appreciate you. Merchant scroll. Yikes. No, it's definitely not, unfortunately. So what happened was I I fell asleep after I got home from work early. So I slept for 8 hours from 3 to 11. So I don't know what to do now besides continue playing Magic. I should have made blue mana, I think, so that I could figure out a way to Narset twist. I think I'm going to shuffle, though, with this. I guess I could shuffle with Ponder if I wanted to. Yeah, my sleep schedule is absolutely screwed. So we can just get Mystical Tutor, and I didn't think that went through at all. Wow, that was really bad. So yeah, I should have used Opal for blue, Merchant Scrolled for Mystical Tendrils to the top. I played that pretty poorly. I'm really bad at the whole Bola Citadel thing. Should probably work on that.